So this is the biggest circle of all of them. This was a social house and also the highest point. Welcome to Colombia! Welcome, wonderful people all over the world. My name is Frank, I'm Swiss and I run a tour operator in Bogota, Colombia. I'm visiting Taironaka. This is a spectacular place. It's about the indigenous culture. You see ancient structure, so you can do tours here. They explain you everything about the housing and you have and the living of the Tayrona in the past. 500 years ago, this is older than 500 years old, this place. There's the river Diego right next to it, so you can do the tour and then tubing. And the tours are with indigenous guides, so I'm with Francisco. Today he's a Wiwa, and let's start with the arrival. The best way to arrive to Taironaka is by boat. I just arrived at the parking and I wanted to drive up there, but there was a big mistake. The road became very narrow and then no, it was impossible. It was actually a little dangerous. So fortunately there was a spot where I could turn the car, but I have some scratches. So I'm now back at the parking and we're taking the boat up there. You also can walk or take moto taxi, like a motorbike. Yeah, but boat, by far the best, you will see. So as you can see, there is almost a harbor, so natural island. And here you will have the boats. Now it's good, the levels of the river are good. It was raining a lot, so no problem to take the boat. So we just arrived and almost insulted them. They're actually not French, they're from Quebec and it's a group of volunteers. So let's go and find my contact here that we can do all the promotion.
Las terrazas fueron de los Tayronas hace 500 años o más años. Conoceremos, bajamos, allá dice roca de aves. Eso es unas piedras antiguas también, donde agradecemos. Luego bajamos y finalizamos en el museo.
Okay.
Eso es todo. Esta ya no está porque esta era una casa ceremonial, pero se cayó por las lluvias. Entonces era muy importante, pero ya no cuenta, ya no está.
So Francisco just explained me that the infrastructure here actually is over 500 years old, so the trails are original and it was discovered not so long time ago, and this was like the project here with Taironaka started actually everything in 2000 when ¿cómo se llama el señor?
Francisco Espina Naya.
Francisco Espina, he bought this in 2000 and started all this, but he's now gone, but the project goes on. So here is sand, but if you would dig, the trail would come out with the stones. So this is a telephone tree, as you heard. They still in high mountains, they use it as a communication tool because this vibrates and you can hear it for kilometers. But it's also, he called it just the monkey's highway, because when the tree has food, like seeds, then the monkeys arrive to feed on the tree.
Este es un árbol, se llama higuerón.
El teléfono de la selva.
Sí, lo utilizaron para comunicación con los Tayronas. Ellos tocaban cada golpe significaba algo. Entonces ellos ya sabían.
And also, he said there were like 200 terraces, but there are only 9 that are discovered so far and that we are going to visit. And also, Francisco, he's from the Kogi. So we have 4 tribes.
Sí, Kogi,
Kogi,
Wiwa,
Wiwa,
Cancuamo
Cancuamo,
y Arhuaco.
Arhuaco. So those are the 4 that live in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta. So this is the entrance when you come walking from the town, and this is the chair of the Mamo, and this is the spiritual leader. And in every indigenous town you have a spiritual leader, so when you enter you greet him and you tell him. But here the chair represents actually this function, so when the indigenous enter, they come first here to ask for permission to come in and to be protected then on their way. So we're now on one of the terraces, and then if you see the shape of the stones, you will see they're all round shaped. And this is because all the stones are coming from the river, and they were all brought here manually, like by humans, because they had no donkeys or other animals or other tools. So stone by stone was carried up here. And this was actually a house before, a traditional house, and it's a perfect circle. And this was the entrance, here was the fire, and of course all the house, and this is how they lived. And today they're presented in terraces.
Este es segundo. Por ejemplo, acá es donde agradecer. Tú agradeces por estar aquí, por disfrutar este aire, esta naturaleza, escuchar esos sonidos, las aves. Entonces, estas energías como de positivos, bonitos, agradecer las montañas, el sol, la luna. Eso es lo que representa nuestra casa, por eso son circulares. Arriba, como es, si yo estoy en como restaurante,
Sí.
entonces eso simboliza el pico nevado de la sierra, las montañas. Entonces, en una casa está representada todas, la tierra, el sol, la luna.
So this is the biggest circle of all of them. This was a social house and also the highest point. And before there was not so much vegetation, so you could see the river, the town down there, the entrance, everybody arriving. And there were 5 fires within that house. And the Kogi, they don't write stuff down, so everything is transmitted orally, so telling stories. And what they had those rituals where they stayed 4 days and 4 nights here, everybody young until old, with the Mamo, the spiritual leader, and he was telling stories and how things work and teaching and everything. But only the men, because the women, they have a separate house, so there's a separation between the sexes. And it's a total perfect circle here, as you can see. And this is how they lived, and this is what we learned today.
O el pagamento que le hicimos nosotros con. Entonces este es un sitio también sagrado. Acá pues también gente viene como a agradecer la vida, petición a la madre, tierras, que quieres, salud. Entonces pues gente mucho ponen acá. Nosotros pues usamos estos cuarzos, conchas del mar y cerámicas, También usamos algodón, pero ya no están los algodones, pues como llueve mucho se deshace, se van. También usamos plantas del páramo, frailejones. Entonces, pues las monedas que vemos hoy en día son de ahora. Pues la gente viene o hay gente que contrata mamos, cómo se hace un pagamento. Entonces el mamo le enseña cómo se hace un pagamento. Demora 4 días, 4 noches. Entonces un lugar sagrado también.
So here we have different family houses, and each family there actually had their channel that the water goes away. So this here was a water channel, next house has a water channel, so they never had the problem with the rain and that the water is accumulating or disturbing the neighbors. So that's very smart actually. And the Tayronas, they always were situated on elevated levels. So that means always when they have long distance view, so very good for seeing enemies. And when the enemies came, they threw rocks down to the enemies. Hey Colombia traveler! Do not miss out on the great additional information we always provide below in the description sections of all our videos. Now back to the video.
Entonces piedras metates, aquí molían, ponían maíz o yucas o café o cacao, molían aquí. Había dos, una era para solamente alimento, otra era para plantas medicinales. Los Tayronas eran así, como pueden ver acá en el cuadro, fotos, hombre y mujer, pues ellos no usaban ropa casi. Ya cuando descendimos, nosotros, Cody y Hugo, todos usamos ropa. Ellos eran muy guerreros, usaban arco, flecha y se adornaban, ellos tenían oro, ¿no? Entonces ellos, cada estos son oros, brazaletes, anillos, arete, todos usaban de oros, collar. Y aquí mujer está hilando, esta es herramienta de ellos, o sea, de mujer. De aquí hilan para sacar el algodón. Estas ollas fueron encontradas aquí mismo. Por ejemplo, esto lo encontramos en la montaña allá arriba, estaba enterrada. Y así grande utilizaban para guardar granos como maíz, como viven del monte, hay animales, roedores, ratón que se lo comían. Entonces guardan y lo tapan, o también era para agua, como viven lejos del río, dejaba afuera que lloviera, se llenaba, y luego de ahí se tomaban. En el cuadro, pues todo lo que ellos hacían, haciendo bote con ayuda de fuego, porque ellos no tenían herramientas. Cazaban también, moliendo, eran guerreros. Este lado tenemos ocarinas, estas son músicas, para música. Formas de animales, aves, bueno, de todo. Hoy en día utilizan para comunicarse con el animal. Esta es piedras redondas, el que te expliqué arriba, con esto le tiraban. Pequeño era para tirarlo, como pueden ver ahí en la foto. Con los españoles, tumbando los caballos. Y esta es la actualidad, este es de nosotros, hoy en día, de ahora. Nosotros cultivamos el algodón, mujeres hilan, sacan esta fibra. Luego el hombre tiene que tejer, ya sea para mujer o para hombre, para uno mismo. Entonces el hombre teje para mujer, para su bebé, para su faja, para su collar y su manta. Aquí está todo representado. Y para un hombre es así, tiene su este es tejido de algodón, es grueso. Acá hace mucho calor, no lo usamos, siempre lo usamos cuando estamos en la parte alta montaña. Este de un hombre y su mochila, o mamo, o líder, usa el gorro. Por eso aquí en la foto vemos, ese de un mamo, mayor.
So usually the plan is to make the tour here with all the indigenous structures, then have lunch here and then go tubing. I didn't have lunch, but we go now tubing. I made new friends, a couple from Chile that now lives in Australia. So we will now put that luggage. I think it will be dropped off in the parking, and we will do tubing like 90 minutes until the shore, and then we will by boat go back to the parking, and then that's the tour. And this is such a great place because from Palomino it's 20 minutes, and from Santa Marta it's like, how much is it? Like 90 minutes, not even. Driving, so it's very close and it's so cool, it's so interesting. So if you cannot do the Lost City, for example, this is a very good alternative with the interesting part with Indigenous guide, and then the tubing, the really fun part. So most important, sun protection, because 90 minutes on the river, it will burn you if you're not protected. So we now have the boarding. The water is quite fresh, but the temperature outside is very warm because the Sierra Nevada Santa Marta goes up to 5,756, something like this, meters. So yeah, very fresh ice water. So this is tubing of the Taironaka. This is just one of the best experiences. I say goodbye because we are now going to enjoy a cold beer, and I hope to see you soon here on my YouTube channel again, or even better here in Colombia. Take care, here's Colombia Frank, bye bye.